call the May 13th workshop to order. Do the pledge, please.
Sure.
Boomer, you want to lead us?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies, we do roll call.
Yes. Mr. Youngkins.
Here.
Mr. Stein. Here. Mr. Eads. Present. Mr. Gallavich. Here. Mr. Skowski.
Here.
Ms. Butch.
Here.
Mr. Shields. Here. Mayor False.
Here.
Assistant Chief.
Here.
Chief Coles.
Here.
Mr. Tuttle.
Here.
Mr. Bicey.
Here.
Mr. Cannon.
Here.
Okay. Public presentations. Susan. State your name.
And one.
Good evening, Munhall officials. My name is Susan Hockenberry. I am from SG Hawk LLC. We're consultants for the strategic management and planning program for which you have recently received your award letter from DCED, the grant funding for this project. It's been a while. I looked at the file. We dated our proposal last year on May 30th. You were meeting through the summer and selected us as your consultant, I want to say late summer, and then we waited for the state budget to pass, and we all waited and we waited and we waited, and then we waited for the administration to catch up, and it finally has. So this project, which we had originally anticipated starting in September of 2025, is going to be starting right away here in the summer of 2026. Some new faces, so if you're a newly elected council member, I'm glad to see you here. I always love working with newly elected officials. I did that for a number of years when I was executive director of Local Government Academy, so I don't know if I get all of you, but I get your experience. I went through that with quite a number of elected officials. So what I'd like to do just real quickly this evening, because I know you have an agenda that you want to cover, I just wanted to go over with you what the objectives of the Strategic Management Planning Program are. We bring together a team of experts in various areas to come in and work with your staff, work with you as elected officials to prepare a number of long-term and short-term goals and objectives for the borough, which will put you in a competitive advantage for when you want to seek additional funding from state government and other potential funders for your projects. So these are listed here on this front and back one-pager. These are directly from our proposal, which is a much longer document, but I thought this might be useful for you. The objectives of the stamp include to strengthen the multi-year financial planning process. So we're going to provide, this is really the overarching goal of STAMP. We're going to provide assistance to assess and improve the financial condition and economic strength of both the borough and the region. We will also help assist identifying any difficulties or trouble spots and help you come up with solutions on a 5-year horizon for addressing any of those concerns. We will help you build capacity for multi-year financial analysis and monitoring. So hopefully some tools and, I don't know, Dave, some fun spreadsheets or dashboards or something that you might enjoy working with as you continue to do your financial management and planning. We'll look at your revenue situation and what are the potentials to assure long-term financial sustainability for the borough in a limited taxing environment like you and all municipalities in Pennsylvania face. The team really works on number 5 extensively. This is really where we get to work collaboratively with your staff, and that is a series of management studies for operational improvements. And that will involve interviewing, working with both of you and your staff to identify needs and service levels and suggest recommendations. Suggest improvements and make other recommendations. And that will include economic development as well as the various operating areas of the borough. Recommend best practices, extension of number 5, and then provide some schedules in terms of sort of short, medium, and long-term priorities, and identify how various projects interconnect with one another. So again, you can put together your most competitive funding proposals, seeking funding sources from grants and others. And then lastly, we always look at intergovernmental cooperation. You guys have a pretty good track record of that. Bernie, I know we've talked about that in the past. How do you build on that success to continue to lead and also to continue to maximize your taxpayers' dollars and provide excellent services? So we'll be exploring that as well. So that's just a quick rundown of the 8 objectives. There's also information, I'm happy to answer any questions about sort of the approach that our firm takes. We were happy to see that you had, quite a number of quite a bit of competition for your business last year, and so we were really pleased that you selected us. We are, I think we're a pretty innovative firm. We really focus on building on an organization's strengths and adaptation. We don't sort of come in here and say, hey, we're experts from somewhere else. We know that the answers and the expertise are in an organization. How do we help that flourish and grow? That's always our objective and our approach. So excited to get started. I think that we'll be executing an agreement very soon, and hopefully, within June, we'll be ready to start. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy.
No?
Are you either put you all to sleep or I mesmerize? One of the two. All right, thank you very much. I'm here to work with all of you.
Amelia with Connect.
Good afternoon. My name is Amelia Egan. I'm the Assistant Director for the Pennsylvania Solar Center. I'm here to represent our partnership with Connect, Congress of Neighboring Municipalities, discussing the solar ground mount project. So just as a little bit of history, we have been working with David and you all for a couple months now, and we did a solar feasibility study modeling out a ground mount on borough property that would offset 100% of borough electric consumption, excluding the streetlights, unfortunately, which I believe we discussed last time I was here. So we've continued to work on that. In the last time I was here, we had a couple of different options that we were looking at, one of which was a loan model. We did include it here in case you wanted to see it again, but my understanding is that a loan model is not the preferred way to move forward in this project, because there are other options in which the borough will not have to take out any money or have any upfront costs and still recognize some savings over the lifetime of the project. So this is really just here for informational purposes, and I'm happy to answer questions. But I would like to focus on the next slide that says power purchase agreement options. So now, as you may recall, last time I was here, we discussed power purchase agreement options, and in December of 2025, we worked with you all to sign a letter of intent with an organization called Capital Good Fund for the Pennsylvania Bright Program. Now, the way that that works is that they are a nonprofit CDFI, so they are going to have better financial incentives for you all as a nonprofit in a CDFI than you would get on a traditional market. So they are the owner and developer of the solar system. Essentially what they're doing is using your municipal space to develop their own solar system, and then the kilowatt hours that the solar system will provide, they'll sell to you at a standard rate or a base rate, which you will be able to see that contract before you sign anything, and you'll be able to compare that to what you're currently paying now. It will be less than what you're currently paying, and what it does is price protect you from the volatile electricity markets that we've been experiencing now. So you'll know exactly what you're going to pay over the 25 years of the system for those kilowatt hours. So it offers a really great opportunity for budget stability for the municipality and for your taxpayers. So continuing with that project, what we've done is, again, we had you all sign a letter of intent with Capital Good Fund. And what they did was actually bought inverters for this project. So the way that the current federal incentives work right now, projects could still move forward and get 30% tax credit. As we learned last summer, some of those financial incentives changed, the milestones of those changed with the OBBB. So in order to protect the pricing, since you all made it clear that you were interested in continuing to move forward and at least provide this opportunity to your municipality, they purchased the inverters. The inverters are about 10% of the total project cost, and for this size of a system, they did something called safe harboring this project, which means that you have a 4-year time frame of construction and you can still get the 30% tax credit. Essentially that because the developer is the owner and maintainer of this system, they get that tax credit and then those savings get passed on to you and your supply rate. So it's similar to a standard contract, standard supply rate, like, I think that we're gonna discuss that in just a minute here. So it'll be a similar process, except for it will be a lower rate because they're taking advantage of the federal tax credits and they're generating their own electricity and passing those savings on to you. So we did put out an RFP for what we call an EPC contract. It's an engineering, procurement, and construction. So that means that we proposed this system to all of our developer network, and these were the proposals that we got back. The understanding is that they will be the construction partner for Capital Good Fund, who is owning the system. And as you can see, we got proposals back from EIS and BAI. EIS is a local company, they're based in Carnegie. BAI is a Pennsylvania company, they're based in State College, so they're not far. They have a number of school projects here throughout the Pittsburgh region, including Coriopolis School District and CCAC North Campus. They've done both of those facilities. And EIS has done a bunch of projects all over. But as you can see from these numbers, the system size is comparable, and it's just a tad bit larger, but comparable to the initial analysis that we provided for you. But just looking at the full purchase price, I think that you can see that there may be a clear winner, but I don't want to make a decision for you, because that's kind of why I'm here today. But just to make the point that whichever developer you choose, your supply rate will be based on that price. Yes.
That's a pretty substantial difference. And, there's always that theory, you get what you pay for too, but not even really that close.
BAI has some interesting ways that they have secured equipment already, like panels and such, and so they've been able to price protect some of the equipment that they intend to use for this project. And so we believe that's why their price is so much stronger, whereas EIS is predicting that they'll buy panels in 6 months from now, which is, the supply market is grappling with some of the federal and international requirements that are currently being set. So for example, there's FEOC, the Foreign Entity of Concern. I'm not sure if you've heard about that, but so it's basically a new initiative that came with the OBB, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, that said, starting in 2026, certain products can't come from certain countries. Unfortunately, we have to adhere to these now. However, the comment period for that is open, but the actual guidelines are not out. So now we all have to adhere to those guidelines that aren't firm. And so the market is trying to grapple with that. And so developers that are going to purchase panels maybe in 6 months, we're not quite sure what those are going to look like. So they're kind of adding in that buffer in the cost. Whereas BAI, we know has already secured panels that they're going to use.
So they probably bought all these panels before the bill was signed.
Yes.
Is that an
They
assumption?
bought it all before 2025, which was a milestone for that, and also the inverters for this system were procured before 2025. So we actually are able to, BAI's is a little bit different because you don't have to adhere to the FEOC rules. But it does still buy that 4-year construction period, so the system has to be built by December 31st, 2029. So it provides like a much more flexible timeline for actual development of the system. So I guess what I'm requesting tonight is a decision on if you would like a loan or PPA. If you would like a PPA, again, a power purchase agreement PPA, where the developer, in this case Capital Grid Fund, owns and maintains the system, so it means no money down for the borough. And once you contract with them and the system is built, you will be agreeing to a set supply rate, and you'll know exactly what you're paying for that electricity for the 25 years of the project.
And what's out of the pocket for the borough?
Nothing,
Nothing at all.
nothing at all. And they're responsible for operations and maintenance, so there are no long-term costs as well. And we often get the question about what happens to the panels after the 25 years, the decommissioning of the system. It is their system, they're the owners of the system, and so it is their responsibility to completely clean the system off of your land. So in 25 years, that land has just been laying essentially fallow because there's, it's still getting wind and environmental everything, but you'll be able to develop it as you please at that point.
Any questions? EJ, you don't have any questions?
I mean, if you're gonna end up going with them owning it, then we don't have to buy a maintenance plan or anything else for it. Then if there's no out of cost completely, then it's win-win.
And it's just gonna give us a cheaper rate on our utilities.
Yeah, and the way that we're modeling this out, and I admittedly we owe David an update on the pricing, the 25-year cash flow, but the way that we're modeling that out is we're looking at a 4% escalation year over year. The last year it was 11%. Next year, starting this June, it's going to be another 11%. And any potential supply contracts that you're going to sign on to will reflect that as well. So that, if anything, is probably a good segue to discuss more about the supply contracts a little bit further in the packet. So we are going to be working with David and all of you to really review what your next supply contract potentially looks like. What's been happening on the market, your old supply contract, as you can see in the top line, especially this portion where it says energy costs, and in your old contracts it says fixed, and the new contract, many of them say pass-through. So that is a direct relationship to the capacity market. So for example, the reason why all of our electricity was raised by like 11% last year, what these suppliers, these third-party suppliers are trying to do is say, we're going to give you a contract for 3 cents, but there's all these pass-through charges that they're not telling you up front, but then you still see those on your bill, and you're still on the hook. So it's really variable, and so you it's incredibly nuanced and kind of nefarious because you think you're locking into a lower rate, but you're actually locking into a contract where you're getting these pass-throughs that you don't know what they are, they don't know what they are, and it doesn't actually lock you into a decent deal or price protect you. So there are these pass-through charges that we're now starting to see on new contracts, so we want to review those with David. And then there are also, there's also some new language in those contracts about you have to buy a certain amount of kilowatt hour energy. And so if you build your own energy and start to use solar, then you can still be charged for both. So we want to protect you against that too. So all of that being said, of course we want you to move forward with solar, but even if not, we're going to help you look at these new supply contracts because, again, this is just a new issue for all municipalities that everyone is facing. It's a new market, and it's really difficult to understand. So we're trying to, talk to some legal advice and help pass on that knowledge to municipalities so that you all can be, safeguarded as well.
So before we make a commitment on this, can we get a copy of the contract before we do anything? I mean, I think that's going to be fair to make sure that our solicitor reviews it to protect us.
Yes, so we have been working with Capital Good Fund. This is a pretty new program. They've been doing it in Georgia, but we helped them essentially bring it into Pennsylvania because there is such an appetite for municipalities and schools especially to have budget stability and safeguard your energy expenses. So we have been working with them on the contracts and RFPs and all of that that's going through their legal review, and then we'll provide it to you all to pass through a solicitor. And so all of that will be able to happen before there's any sort of contract signed. And we'll still provide updates as soon as we get them, to David, pass to all of you, and I'll be able to come back again, or someone from either Connect or the PA Solar Center team to look at any sort of final prices and discuss anything else you might want to know before any contract is signed. So I guess for today, I'm really just hoping to see if you would like to move forward with EIS or BAI, and if there are any other questions that you have.
How much are the savings?
So the savings are,
I see with the loan part, how much
Yeah.
the savings are, but there's nothing shown
for the
without the loan.
PPA, yeah, some of the SRECs change. So SRECs are solar renewable energy credits. It's like a free market system that you get off of the solar system. Those have changed in Pennsylvania, so they requested that I didn't put that into this presentation because they didn't want to give you a number that wasn't true, because they're exploring a new SREC buyer, which is part of their cash flow and how they can provide a lower rate to you. So I don't know the number off the top of my head. It will be a little bit less than 600,000. I believe the last time I was here, it was around 480,000, but I will provide that update to share as soon as I have that.
Yeah, I'd like to see those numbers before we make a decision on.
Yeah, right, again, we'll be able to come back with firm numbers and be able to talk through that before any sort of contract is signed. The benefit of going with this program is that, again, without having any real legal commitment, Capital Good Fund bought all of these inverters for this project so that you have that guaranteed 4-year construction window.
Might be a silly question, but the inverters and the panels is what we're talking about being the savings between the two companies, because they already bought them a while ago.
The panels, BAI bought the panels.
Has anything changed in the technology of those panels that would?
Not in that
those
time,
panels,
maybe 10 years
does
ago.
them sitting there have anything to do with their,
Efficiency?
lifespan?
No, because they're not being subject to environmental
Okay.
conditions. And the technology in solar panels really hasn't changed much in the last 5 years. What's really changed is the inverters. So they bought inverters in December. They are up to date inverters. They're industry standard. The actual solar panels can be a little bit more energy,
Okay.
because they're all pretty similar product, quite frankly.
Thank you.
I take it we need to know for next week,
Next week is to choose between one of these two companies.
just to choose from one of these companies. But if we choose one of these companies, that doesn't mean we're locked in, right?
It does not. Nope.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, here, this is 3 months.
Thank you. I will be able to update your savings with this.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Yes, so, yeah.
Public comments? Charlie?
Hi, Charlene David, 719 North Avenue. So really exciting to hear about the solar project. I have a question. You asked Tim about the savings, and she said 400, 600,000. Is that over the life, or is that just 1 year?
25 years.
That's
Oh,
true. So it's approximately that much money for 25 years in savings.
yes.
Okay, and then the second question I have is, so who's going to maintain the land underneath the solar? The land is still owned by the borough. That's a lot of maintenance, to still maintain it. So that's something that I would want to know. Again, I think I've talked about, it would be great if we could have native plants under there, so then we were not having to worry about Public Works doing anything.
I remember you bringing that up before, and I
Right,
took note of
yeah,
it.
so, I mean, there's just something to consider in the project, or in the big, and I think that's it that I wanted to ask.
Anybody else? Come on, Randy.
Rainy Fry, 124 West Virginia Avenue, Munhall. This regards Memorial Day. Ann Ashley Hall versus the tent, to have the people there. I know we have money in the budget for Memorial Day and Veterans Day. I really and truly do feel that 90% of the people who have gone there are older people. Light refreshments versus a little luncheon. I think we owe it to our people. I feel bad our banners are not up yet. I know the issue about the Main Street, which I'd like to talk to Connor about, but I really do think we ought to consider Ann Ashley after the ceremony, as we have in the past. It's not like they charge us $500, it's a donation we make to them.
This council has nothing to do with that.
And, pardon me?
This council has nothing to do with that. This Memorial Day committee is separate of this council.
Well,
This
then
council has
you're on the
nothing.
committee, Rob's on the
I'm in the borough, we have a meeting Monday. You can come to that.
I mean, we made a decision that, just to try it this year, to see how it would go, keep everything up at the cemetery, you know, and just to scale it down a little bit. There's been a lot of food wasted, it hasn't gone, that we overbought for those days. Less and less people are coming to Ann Ashley, it seems like, every year. And the other thing about Ann Ashley, I know that it's the cost isn't much, but it's a lot of the work. There's a lot of work to put that together, and to be honest with you, Randy, we just don't have the manpower. I'd like to have volunteers next year when we do this, because on Sunday, myself, Bernie showed up, I think, the Rick and Kevin to help us move things. But we don't have, and then Monday, we have to get somebody there at 8 o'clock in the morning to get somebody there. And I just don't have the people to help out like we used to have. I mean, I wish I did. But maybe next year, I'm gonna have a sign-up sheet at Memorial Day, and maybe I can get more people to volunteer and help out with Memorial Day the following year. And maybe we can do that again, but until I get more people, I just don't feel we have the manpower to do it.
I don't think it takes an awful lot.
Oh, it does, Rini. You've been there, you know how much it takes. You know how much it takes, Rini. Moving those tables, we have to set those tables all up.
Rob,
They don't set it up for us, we have to tear everything down. We have to
okay,
have somebody there early in the morning, you know, you've been there.
I've been there, and I just feel that.
It's not easy.
More people dying, but that's my opinion.
And nobody's getting any younger either, that's helping us up there either. We're all getting older.
I know we have mentioned that we would have the checks at the back of the, hall each month to let people know what was paid and that, and we haven't had that done in quite a while. So can you look into that, please? Number 3, the Main Street, I don't know, Connor, if you're going to talk about that, but it was supposed to start almost over a month ago. We've had good weather. I'd like to know why it's not, none of it. The poles, the garbage cans, the planters, the cement, nothing. Hopefully you're going to give a report on that.
I will.
Okay? And last but not least, Dave Cannon, regarding the ordinance about the food trucks on Main Street, have you guys discussed that at all? I know you said there was no ordinance.
We got, Greg's working on ordinance.
Yeah.
He's working on it, okay. Thank you all.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Comments or I can have about the placard in the handicap zone to request again. I have film on, I really don't want to play the boys, it's kind of vulgar.
Do you know anything about this?
Dave, administrator, he's.
We've spoken, yes.
Yeah.
numbers on the handicap side.
Yeah.
They're constantly.
I got my life threatened over.
Let me clarify that.
Go ahead. Please do.
Make it clear. So the issue is, they have a handicap spot near their house that they use. But as you know, any handicap spots available, they
On Andrew, or near Andrew, right?
And the
By the fire
question
department.
that they
11.
presented was, is it possible to tie a handicap spot to a specific handicap identification number?
I remember her asking about this.
I believe the
That's basically what
solicitor-
they're asking.
I believe the solicitor had said, it's in the vehicle code, it's possible, Munhall does not do it. But it is possible for Munhall to do it, and Munhall would have to make that decision.
Well.
But again, I wasn't part of that in-depth conversation, so the chief and the solicitor were able to meet.
We have to, the ordinance allows for it, just the council just want to have a.
I believe he said, yeah, the state vehicle code that covers handicap parking spaces has a section where you could get very specific to have that tied in. Munhall doesn't do that.
Is there other communities that do?
Every other borough does, yeah. West
That would have
Mifflin.
to be looked into with council and the solicitor and
Oh,
the chief.
I'm getting my life
Yeah.
threatened over his parking spot.
I can bring it up to, Greg.
Parking somewhere, parking somewhere.
I can email him tomorrow to ask him the steps, and then we can talk about it, we can talk about it publicly next week.
I talked to Chief Caterino maybe, I don't know, within the week, and he does know West Mifflin having that ordinance, you know, that it's tied into the person's plate of placard. I can't be the only one complaining about this. I mean, I'm not these neighbors, I'm not getting my life threatened over this parking
What's your name again and your address so we can hear it all?
spot. Marie Rustin, or do you need the spelling?
No, I just need
Okay, and it's 811, and it's East 11.
811 is what I'm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Happy?
Yeah, I wanna, go along with her on the handicap spots. I don't know why they were eliminated, the ones that were there,
Where at?
in parking places in the back of the building.
Over here?
Pardon me?
Right here? Up by the field?
Yeah,
Is there anything been eliminated?
One was for police vehicle parking.
Is that the
Under
one
the-
under the thing?
Yes. To my knowledge, I do know that was done. I don't know about any other location.
The chief did speak to me about that, and he told me he was doing that, and he was gonna put another one on the other side, on the end, next to the other ones.
He spoke to me on that too.
well, you know, you only got two out there right now.
Well, we'll have 3 out there, Pep.
Well, I think
Is there any up here?
4.
Yeah,
There's up there. Yeah, there's some up there.
Some up here.
we'll make sure the third one gets put in there.
Don't forget,
Well, walking up there
we're
is
required to
terrible
have
for
someone
handicapped
by
people.
the sides of the building.
Are we?
Yes.
I think you need at least 4 there, I mean, there's handicapped people coming to the meetings and, they can't, they don't have a place to park.
Okay.
It
All right,
should be,
we'll address it.
Dave, it should be in the plans from the ADA compliance of the building plans.
Yep, I
It should-
agree.
Sure, you can't remove the handicap parking spaces.
You can't take them out.
This is the first I'm hearing this. That was
So
removed.
we'll get that changed right away.
We'll take care of it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Dave, when Chief Fuller was here a year ago, we were supposed to have a complete look over of all the handicap spots. Going over, some people have been gone for 20-some years, they still have placards up, believe it or not. You know, there's one on Louise Street, was Chuck McCann, he's been gone for 2 or 3 years. And we were supposed to go over them all, make phone calls, who's there, who's not there. As far as I know, I don't think we ever did it. It has to be done first, clean the whole system up. How many are out there, how many are still needed, because we haven't done it in a long time.
Agreed, Bernie. Yeah, we do need a review of all handicap spots in there. There's a lot of spots.
Vince,
that-
is there a list of all the registered handicap placards for the borough? Like,
That position actually is yet to be filled. It was filled, it's vacant now.
But
With
there
a
is a
lot
list
of
of
change
them all.
within the department.
There is a list of all the handicap placards we have out there.
Yes, there are, again, the accuracy of the records I'm not familiar with.
Right, they were supposed to, it was talked about just going over everything.
Okay.
Maybe our intern can do that.
Yeah.
No, they give an intern
I
come
can
in.
definitely have the intern to do.
Handicap spots don't need to reapply.
I'm a job for it.
Every 70 years, right?
Should we have put
Once somebody applies,
Also, you got park in the handicap spots too, there's handicapped people there.
Sometimes it's mostly people who don't even have a handicap.
Anybody else?
My neighbors are so vindictive, they put them there.
All right. Engineers report?
Pretty lengthy report tonight, but I wanted to make sure that we touch on everything. First item, PA Small Water and Sewer Grant. This is a grant from 2020 that was awarded for storm sewer improvements. The one-year extension was filed and approved in 2023, 2024, and 2025, which the deadline is now, to complete the project is now June 30th, which is very close. Approximately $30,000 has been spent to date. So KLH went in and reviewed what has been completed already and is trying to expand the original scope of the project and have a contractor come in through CoStars and just do as much as they can over the next month.
Can we bring more than one contractor in? So we get all that, use all that money instead of giving it back?
We can, but the problem is the additional scope has to be approved by the DCED,
Okay.
and so far it's been very limited.
So I spoke with Dan Soltesz this afternoon about this, and he spoke with the analyst at DCED regarding this project, and they're willing to give a small amount of the amount that we've identified that we could do as an addition, a small percentage basically.
Mhm.
So, no, we're not gonna get it all done, we're gonna spend maybe at most another $10,000 for the project.
And so KLH is in the process of finding a contractor to do that. Inside Pipe actually got back to us today, and it looks like they may have some availability. Very good contractor, so that's good news there. Next item, the Ravine Street bridges. Inspections were completed by PennDOT on both bridges in April 2026. Michael Baker recommended closure of the bridge at 1205 Ravine Street. The road was closed in conjunction with Allegheny County on May 7th. KLH is currently preparing a detour plan for Ravine Street. KLH also prepared preliminary cost estimates for replacement of the two bridges. The estimated cost for the replacement of the bridge located at 826 Ravine Street is $1,375,000. The estimated cost for the replacement of the bridge located at 1205 Ravine Street is $1,460,000. I just want to note these are preliminary. In order to provide a more detailed cost estimate, survey will need to be completed, geotechnical work, and a full inspection report will need to be provided. KLH is assisting Nova Strategies in applying for multimodal grant funding for the 826 bridge location.
Good.
Next item, Borough Building Build-Out Permit. KLH addressed the comments from CodeSys and provided a response letter and revised drawing. The documents were approved and the permit is ready to be issued pending payment of invoice for $600. Borough Building HVAC System. Borough expressed HVAC concerns at the police chief and assistant police chief offices. KLH performed a site visit on April 22nd and prepared a request for proposal for the furnishment and installation of new split cooling systems. The request for proposals were sent out and are due by May 15th. And this should give us time to review them and potentially vote on them next meeting.
Skip that.
Okay. Next item, Firehouse Number 1 roof replacement. The borough expressed interest in replacing the roof at Fire Station Number 1. KLH reached out to Garland and Tremco. Both companies performed inspections of the roof and prepared reports of their findings. The roof is in poor condition and needs to be replaced. Siding repairs on the penthouse and brick mortar repairs on the chimney are also needed. KLH will prepare bid documents and assist the borough with advertising the project when needed. The CoStars process can also be utilized in lieu of bidding. Cambria and Roberta speed hump evaluation. KLH is in the process of reviewing the collected data to determine whether a traffic study is needed. If it is not, KLH will provide a recommendation for the locations of the speed humps. Creek Street landslide stabilization project. All permits for the project have been issued as of April 2026. KLH is assisting Nova Strategies in applying for Act 13 flood mitigation grant funding. Main Street rehabilitation project. KLH is still awaiting executed contracts from A-Lib Baroni, the GC, for phase 2 of the project. The lead time on the light poles is approximately 6 weeks. I don't have an estimated start date, but I did schedule a pre-construction meeting for Monday, May 18th, to have both contractors on site to try to figure out when they're going to be starting. So next week I should have a firm answer on that. 2026 road paving program. Bids were reviewed with council at the April 8th workshop meeting. Council voted to award the Redstone Excavating in the amount of $572,300.75 at the April 15th meeting. Contract documents were sent out to the contractor for execution. Redstone Excavating is aiming to begin work in early June. The Blight Removal Program, 2024 Act 152, the borough was awarded $90,000 for 3 vacant structures, which are 1709 and 1713 Martha Street and 1214 Louis Street. KLH and the borough manager attended a meeting with the county and discussed the project on April 28th. KLH has prepared bidding documents, and the Act 152 demolitions project is ready to be advertised. And I have a note here for a motion to be advertised for next week's meeting. And the last item is the 2026 PA Small Water and Sewer Grant, which I put on here just so that we continue to talk about it and get it moving. The borough was awarded a PA Small Water and Sewer Grant in the amount of $170,000 for storm sewer improvements. A 15% match is required. KLH is ready to assist with design and preparation of bidding documents when needed.
We're waiting on,
We still need the contract documents. Yep. Unless there are any questions, that's all I have in mind.
All right, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
It is about the Cambria Roberta speed hump evaluation. It says you're in the process of reviewing collected data to determine whether a traffic study is needed. What kind of data?
That was the cameras, the signs we used. When we shut them off, they were still collecting data, so we could see how fast they were going.
Like the one that's on Main Street?
Yes.
I never even saw it.
Yep. Yeah, it was on, last year I had them put them on Roberta and Cambria to see about the speed humps in them areas because people were complaining about the speeding.
And you're reviewing that data now?
Yep, and I met with Chief on Monday, so.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? No? Code enforcement?
You have a copy of my report. The last 2 weeks I've went around, issued probably close to 150 letters for just weeds alone, people not cutting their grass. So we're up to at least 150 people that haven't cut their grass yet.
Anything else?
No, including my report.
All right.
Who's getting a swimming pool, Dave?
Swimming pool,
Just curious.
I should check on that one.
Why, you wanna go use it?
I might.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
But,
What's rodent Harbor Road?
rats
Somebody's keeping
in
them?
someone's yard, that's all. Rats in the yard.
The feeding wild animals, yep.
Any other questions? Public Works?
Well, on April 30th, one of our new garbage trucks was in Kentucky. We were doing the final touch-ups. They said 2 to 3 weeks. I'm still waiting for Duquesne Light to hook electricity up. They said this week. Still waiting. That's basically all I have.
Okay.
Hey, Bryce, who's responsible, or David Boomer, who would know? I got complaints about the Citizens Bank, drive-through parking lot that's closed now.
No, it's bad.
Who's responsible for that road? It's really pretty bad.
We own part of that.
Going up towards the house, we,
Yeah,
and past the, they,
is that the borough, or does Citizens have to take?
That's ours.
That's
We own
ours?
part of it.
up past where the
It's
house
really
driveway
bad.
comes in, that's ours.
It's on a list.
It's really bad.
Okay, yeah, I had a complaint this week on it. It appears sometimes it's on Citizens' property, but it's only a
You know
drive-through.
where the car
ATM
pulls into the
there.
house?
Yeah,
We own that, right to that when the car pulls in.
okay.
This is going on for a long time.
It's been going back for a while, though.
It's really bad though.
All right. Anything else for Public Works? Police Chief?
This is the police report for April 1st, 2026 to April 30th, 2026. 716 calls for service, 37 arrests, 150 traffic stops, 105 traffic citations, 101 detail hours. They were all reimbursed. Court overtime hours are 55, regular overtime hours 25, extra turn hours, 24. We have one waterfront detail every Saturday to increase public safety. Several officers are currently participating in a variety of training courses designed to improve community relations and enhance overall operational readiness. We're moving forward with the e-bikes. We've increased the staff during the NFL draft, which was fortunately uneventful for our area. The police department conducted an internal departmental meeting to discuss department goals, officer responsibilities. The meeting provided an opportunity for officers and staff to communicate effectively, review procedures, and strengthen teamwork within the department. The Munhall Police Investigations Division worked 4 child lines, 16 patrol assists, 37 general follow-ups, 9 interviews, 1 burglary theft, 4 video evidence canvases, 4 community relation details, assisted other agencies 7 different times, were assigned 20 administration details, had 5 general meetings, conducted 8 background investigations, investigated 1 scam, conducted 4 or attended 4 forensic interviews, conducted 2 PICS checks with the state police, investigated 1 sex assault, conducted 3 patrol uniform assignments, and assigned to the range 4 different times. 7 days of training. There were 8 items of property returned and 3 destroyed, and 30 items of evidence processed. That's the police report for the borough. Everybody's copy.
Chief, I had noticed a few times coming up Main Street that there's a gentleman riding a mini bike. Have you heard about this?
I called Jamie about it. He was on my street too. It's an electric mini bike.
No, this one's a gas mini.
Oh, gas?
Yes,
This
it's
one's
like the
electric.
old, it's like the old lawnmower mini bikes, but on steroids.
Yeah, the problem exists in a lot of locations. So they're trying to establish the vehicle code, how that applies, ordinances apply, and where the legalities are with locations and where they're being ridden, and if there's vehicle code violations that could be cited or not. So that's being looked into.
And about e-bikes, do we need to put an ordinance in for them? About riding them on the sidewalks and stuff?
That will have to be reviewed as well. There is an ordinance for like bicycles on certain sidewalks, skateboards on certain sidewalks. Possibly the verbiage might need.
There's been a lot of complaints on that. I mean, you have, I see just on travel, you have 6, 7, 8-year-olds, I'm guessing, that are riding these bikes. And it's
Scooters right down Main Street.
very, very dangerous. So they've almost hit people, they've almost, it's almost, you hope it doesn't happen, but I'm just scared something that bad would happen one
Right.
day.
These kids on electric scooters, they can move.
I actually had a neighbor that was peering off my sidewalk like a driveway every morning with his motorcycle. I called that in one time ago. That was crazy.
All right, anything else?
The other thing that I'm thinking, that, it's been briefly discussed, how many, I'm looking, maybe we should have an ordinance, how many places you can have that are doing the drug stuff, the legal drug stuff if you're of age.
You're
But
talking about the vape stores?
the vape stores, how many vape stores can we have? Can we limit, I think other boroughs have limited how many vape stores. I think Bethel Park recently put something out limiting on vape stores.
We have to ask the solicitor.
I don't think you can limit them. I don't think you can limit them, but you could put them where like they can't be so close to
Well,
a
they can't be
school
by
or
a
a church or
school,
something
right.
like that. I don't think you can limit the number.
All right.
And is the one on Main Street, is that close to a school? And we have one on vape. I think it is.
Anything else, Chief?
That's completes the police report.
Fire Chief?
Thank you, Mr. President. You guys don't have a copy of my report because I forgot to give it to David, so you'll have it in for your packets next week. For the month of April, did a lighter than usual, which is fine with me. We had a total of 46 calls, 22 in town, 24 mutual aid requests, Our average times for the month from dispatch to en route was 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Dispatch to on scene was 4 minutes and 54 seconds. And the average time spent at the call from the dispatch to the clear was 10 minutes and 42 seconds. We're making preparations for the Girls on the Run race, which is this Sunday. There's a reminder, Waterfront Drive will be closed to all traffic from roughly 7:30 in the morning till about noon. They will have access using the access road behind Lowe's and Giant Eagle to get to the shops and everything, but the main part of the road will be shut down for that period of time. We're also making the preps for the government days for next week. And next Thursday for the parade and the walkthrough and the Memorial Day parade. About it for right now.
All right, any questions for the fire chief? No? Items for consideration. All right, items for considerations for regular meeting is removal of a non-performing member of the Munhall Planning Commission, Ed Miller.
Motion.
We're not voting.
We're not voting.
I'm jumping the gun now.
Yeah.
Save that for next week.
Anybody have any comments on that or any questions?
Okay, See My Legacy, it's a community engagement platform, it's an online platform that I brought up last year. There's an idea to perhaps raise additional funding for our Main Street development. There's a packet of information here, most of you haven't seen this. Why don't you take a look at it, and we can maybe, if anybody's interested in learning more, I can set up a meeting with these guys. I'm not sold on it, but it could prove useful. But the idea is basically you sell these kind of metal plaques for different things like park benches. And kind of put whatever, it links, it has a QR code that links to a website that has the information, more information about the person being honored, for example, this is the honor of Grandma Helen. And using that to kind of get additional funding to help support Main Street, but can also be expanded into other areas, like trying to find volunteers for different community programs we might have. Fundraisers, sponsorships, things like that. We could possibly, if we want to kind of build on that, not that I have any specific ideas at this point beyond just the Main Street development. But feel free to look at this. Let me know if you have questions. I can set something up with these guys if you want to pursue it further. But there's some benefits to it, but I'm not 100% sold because the cost for a year is about $2,200 to access the program. So that's that. Ambridge has had a lot of success with it. And I know the manager there pretty well. So I'll talk to him more about it, see what he uses it for.
Right. Tells you generate revenue.
Yep. Hey, Daryl, do you want to handle the Daryl leave? Oh, there, sorry. The county has.
Daryl, you want to come up front, please? Thank you, sir.
Every 5 years, the county comes up with the hazardous mitigation plan, and every municipality in Allegheny County has signed up for this plan. What it does is it has guidelines for different kinds of hazardous emergencies and all that. We've been part of it for quite a while now, and every 5 years they renew it, they have to renew it. David and I and Tim there have been going to meetings with the county when putting the things in turn up. And the plans are submitted to FEMA, and then when they get approved, they come back and all we have to do is adopt them, and we don't have to worry about doing it ourselves. Basically, that's what it's all about.
Sounds like we've been doing it for a while, but it sounds like we wouldn't change, right?
Yeah, take the county's plan, because if we have to do it, it's gonna be around $100,000 that we have to pay for to do our own plan. So
Right.
take the county's plan and.
Yeah, we're scheduled to vote on it for next week. So I think we're doing this.
Please, there should be no resistance.
Thank you, Daryl. Main Street, we've kind of covered, unless there's additional questions about that.
Anybody got questions on the Ravine Street bridges?
We are gonna get more signage, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It's been ordered already.
One thing that Connor didn't mention is, so we're gonna have the detour plan hopefully this week.
Yep.
He's running by the state and the county. And there's a company we'll just go to and have them set it up for the first month. And then we'll just order the signs ourselves and set it up after that, so we don't have to keep paying this company to do the same thing we do ourselves.
So when they set it up, we'll be ordering signs immediately.
Exactly.
Do we have a good place to store the signs after it's done, so we have to order them again?
That would be a good idea.
In
Yeah,
a
we'll
year,
find out.
2 years, or?
Well, them signs for the end of the road says bridge is out so far, did we order them? You know when they'll be in? I'd like to thank the county and West Mifflin for helping us out with signages and barricades.
Are we having any more problems with people moving any of the barriers and going anywhere?
It has stopped because all the barriers are together, some of them are full of water and we're supposed to get the rest of them filled up.
Thank you.
Some of them couldn't be filled up because they had holes in them.
We do it at the end. Yeah, so Creek Street, here's where, this is the fork in the road we have to figure out what we're doing. So right now, at the end of this month, we're preparing a grant for flood mitigation to handle the repairs on the Homestead Run at Creek Street that we talked about for the last 2 years, basically. I know Council President is interested in just moving forward right away and spend the approximate $400,000 to just repair the side of the hill at Homestead Run. But I don't know what the other council wants to do with that, because we have to basically make a decision, either we bid this out now and start moving forward on our own, or we apply for the grant. We have to approve the grant application next week. So this is the fork in the road here.
I have a question. So can't we like try to incorporate some CDBG funds for that, grant for that?
CDBG wouldn't cover this, it's entirely stormwater runoff and stream maintenance.
Can they be part of the money?
Now, CDBG is HUD funding, it only covers housing, basically.
Well, I did meet with Rick Smith, and he looked at it, and he gave me a rough estimate. He said he was gonna work on one. Before we had estimates close to 700,000, he said he could do it for under 5. And that's the bid we had the first time.
Where are we getting the money at?
That's the thing, we would have to pull from our reserves and repay that over the next couple of years.
Where would we get the money to fix the bridges currently condemned?
I've talked to all of our representatives. They're working on everything they can to get us money, and I spoke to them before the bridge was even inspected, and I let some of these people know that it was coming down the road, same with Piscatano and Guggenheim, and Adam Smith from the county. So everybody's looking to help
The
us out
maximum
here.
funding for a multimodal grant, which is due the end of June.
You had a name.
Is 500,000. So that would be a portion of what we could do
It is what it is.
for fixing that, but that's only a third of the cost.
Mm-hmm.
And I think kind of it's mistaken, we want to do that for 1205, not 826.
Yes.
Because 1205 is the critical one
Yes.
that collapse.
Right, okay, yeah.
That's the one that's
But
shut
that one
down
needs
right now.
like
That's the one.
done like immediate.
Yeah, true,
So, like,
That,
can we-
it'll take us a year to get multimodal funding if we
Right,
can get it.
if we, yeah.
So the question is, do we have a better source of funding of $1.4 million somewhere to fix it now, or do we want to try to wait and see if we can apply for the multimodal for that and get it next year sometime?
So,
But that's shutting down the road for a year and a half, 2 years.
so my
That doesn't even include, you know, the design process and construction and everything like that. You're talking years.
Well, the representatives seem to believe there's money out there for it, so. I mean, they just started working on it, so I'll give them a little bit of time.
It's only been a week.
The thing that gets me though on this whole situation is, we need 1.4 for one bridge, we need 1.3 for another bridge, we need 1.5 to finish Main Street. We need 800,000 to do Creek Street. can only have your hand in the cookie jar so many times. I mean, at some point, we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna get this money. I mean, I don't have any other suggestions. I mean, do we try to get a loan to pay for all this? I mean, there's a lot of things that we need to accomplish. 'Cause I know I'm missing things. I had a rough day, so I'm missing some things that funding for. You know, they said $1 million if we want to tear down the old borough building. I mean, the millions just keep adding up on everything that we want to do.
But there's different programs for different things out there, Tim. There's demolition money for tearing down buildings like that. They have money allotted for that, so you're not going to the well for the same thing, you're going for different projects.
But they can only give Munhall Borough so much money. They have how many other boroughs and townships that they have to give money to? We just got 1.3 or 1.4 last year for Main Street. I mean, we got $9 million of unfunded projects that we need to honestly sit down and talk about and try to figure out what we are going to do. This is a serious problem.
We have to decide what our priorities are.
100%.
That's what we gotta do.
This is serious matters that we have going on. We just can't keep writing checks for these problems.
I would say a loan for the bridges is faster, much faster. We can get a loan through, some state funding, just can't remember what that infrastructure. Well, yeah, but I don't know if we can get one, 2.7 million.
I don't want to get a loan until we're sure we're not getting no money from any of the representatives.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
We got a loan, can it be paid back with a grant? That's my question.
I don't think so.
I don't think it can.
No, I think most grants have to
No,
be
because
that.
the grants require you to start the project
Right.
after you get the loan.
Right.
So once you get the loan, you own it.
You own it,
Yes.
you do own it, but also I honestly don't, we'll see where we get some funding from.
Right.
But
Well, like I said, it's only.
I think we get a
been
10-year
week.
loan at pretty decent interest rates with the state. And loans can get a turnaround in a couple months. Grants take a year.
So going back to Rich Street, so having Rich Smith do it, we bid the project out. How do we legally allow Rich Smith to come in?
You have everybody bid it out. You have bid it out to other people too. Let them all put their bids in and whoever comes in the lowest. Like we always do. But Rick's just telling me he could do it for that price.
Up to the DEP standards and what they have to do for that.
They can just take a look at it, there's specs.
I mean, because you
Yeah,
file,
right.
we file a permit to a
Plans
certain level
approved
of
by
standard,
DEP and county, yes.
so that it has to be done to that standard.
They just look at the hillside, give it a price, and look at the specs.
Well, he's working on you're working on the bidding documents for that, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
this was
so
bid
they're almost done,
out, this was
basically.
bid out 2 years ago, so it'll be relatively easy to put together.
Yeah. Well, at least one of you keep working on that, present it, we can discuss it more in detail next week at the vote, whether we want to vote to go for that grant. I mean, it's really kind of where we're at now. We go for the grant, or we try to pay it out of our reserve funds.
It sounds like we're gonna need money for that bridge, so I prefer to go for the grant for this.
But also you gotta realize these people have been dealing with this almost 3 years.
Agreed. And I don't wanna make light of their plight, but that road being closed is affecting exponentially more people than that one street.
Right.
Public safety in general. It affects.
They closed it twice before when they replaced the other bridges. And it was closed for a while, so what's the difference then?
Because we got lucky that nothing happened. We honestly got lucky that, we did need to get fire equipment through, that's what worries me.
And David, I think the max grant is closer to 3 million.
For
Multimodal?
multimodal?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
500,000 for the flood mitigation.
Oh, fire that's flood mitigation. But I mean, getting 3 million, that's like
Right, but
that's not
I'm
gonna
just
happen.
want to clarify.
But that's good. I mean, we could at least possibly get one bridge with that.
Right.
Yeah. A more critical one.
And that's, I was thinking the one that's not critical for grant funding, so that when it is critical, we have the money to do. Or by the time it is.
Well, do you know when
becomes critical.
multimodal's due? End of June?
End of July.
End of July. Okay, we have time to see if we get some other funding before we apply for that. I think we've already actually covered Act 452 and flood mitigation grant, the building dedication plaque. So I'm still waiting on bids for that. We'll wait for that, but I do have the actual document that shows what's going to be recommended on it, maybe we want to make changes to it, or you guys see that? Here it is. What? Okay. Yeah, give me, don't talk about publicly, just send me an email if you want, if you think that this, the names of this plaque are sufficient. We can discuss it.
That's the date of the ceremony?
Well, we'll see. That would coincide with.
We haven't done it, Tom. That's what we're trying to do.
Well, I'll be out of town, that's why I was asking.
We can also push it
We can
off.
also push it off. No.
I think that is all. Okay. All right, all right. Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah, there's a person going to St. Vincent College that's interested in training with us this summer. She's studying criminology and society. I'm gonna have her help me with some MS4 education program with the school district, kind of figure out a public education program, and then also some other things we talked about earlier. So I think it'll be a good asset. We're gonna probably give her a stipend of $1,000 for the summer, so she's not working for free.
Right. All right. Bring up the Munhall Fire Department discussion. Where do you want to start?
I'll start.
Go ahead.
Excuse me, is the chief going to be involved?
Yeah, I'll be involved with that.
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Tim. You go.
Yeah.
So I brought things up about consolidations, mergers over the past few months and possibly a year. And I was told that let the fire departments talk, they're involved, council should not be involved. That was said right here at this desk. I just want to know why, and Dave, you told me that you told the rest of the council and they gave you the okay to go and speak at their meeting. Why wasn't the Public Safety Committee go to that meeting and talk?
I don't know, I was asked to be there, that's one of the reasons why I went.
In our discussions, we have talked about involving the Public Safety Committee, that they had questions regarding funding, and we were going to invite David and David to the meeting. That was all it was about. But once we get further into the process, we were going to involve the entire Public Safety Committee. We've only had half a dozen meetings. We really don't have much set. You know what I mean? But the question came up about different funding ideas, different funding options. The only people that could answer that are sitting right there. The two best ones to bring up for that question would have been the president of council and the borough manager.
But the
At that particular time.
The Public Safety Committee should come back and report that to the Borough Council. The president should be reporting to the Public Safety Committee. Like, we should be reporting to him. It's ass backwards.
Right, and this is an entire process that's gonna take more than 3 weeks to do here. You know what I mean? But why involve when we're still getting our feet wet? Once we have a plan or something in line here, that's when we can bring the Public Safety Committee in. You know, it's the way we did it 1, 2, and 3 mark. A lot of the crap was hashed out before council or the Public Safety Committee had to get involved.
So what's all the talk, what's all the talk with just the one station at 1900 West Street?
The proposal that came out, that Mr. Youngkins provided, was the possibility of one station for have an agreement to look into funding for that station. If those companies didn't agree with that agreement, then it wasn't going to go forward. They had the option to decline. But they were starting to look for funding. Here we are now, though, with a $9 million debt, I'm pretty sure right now this probably isn't on the priority list of things to do.
As building a fire station, that is the last concern we have right now. But, you know, consolidation and trying to move everybody under one umbrella is honestly a good thing.
Correct.
We have building space and we have buildings here in the borough that we can move equipment into.
So, if you're gonna do this, these buildings are 50-plus years old. They could also use a lot of love, TLC, and remodeling. You know, either whether we go with multiple stations or one. These stations also need updated in a bad way. They're tight now.
I understand.
And if we're gonna go through all this aggravation, I wanna try to make it the best it can be for every station here. You know, I mean, the one station would have been nice. It still could be nice. I don't know yet, Tim, but man, either one brand new freaking building, state of the art, that is a showpiece, or we fix up these buildings, but we gotta do something. We're running on duct tape. We got boilers that are 40 years old, you know? So whether we keep these stations, but they're gonna need a lot of money dumped into them too.
Listen, I agree, but we keep dumping money into right here. I'm not knocking anybody's fireman at 201. That building is uninhabitable. You
dumping money into all of them.
I understand. So instead of dumping, so you're actually making my point for me, and I appreciate that. So instead of dumping money into 4 buildings, why aren't we dumping money into 2 buildings? And it saves overall. That's my point. Down to 2 buildings. You're gonna save money, and you can start investing in the 2 buildings, invest in the property we have. Because here in Munhall, what we love to do is sit on everything. We're sitting on number 3 for a storage facility for absolutely no reason. I mean, we just sit on property here, and that's not your fault that we're sitting on number 3. So I don't want you to think I'm blaming you for that. It's the borough. We literally just sit on our hands and we wait till everything collapses in front of us. You know, number 1, they need a roof. Chimney work. I'm just reading his report. I mean, I know everybody else needs work done in their buildings, but we're just putting money into 4 buildings. Why not invest in the 2 of our buildings? Try to do what we can do. I'm sure if we had to raise taxes in this borough, they would be like, we're investing in our fire departments. So we raised taxes, what, 2 years ago? To invest in our ambulance service, and I'm surprised to see them back there. How you guys doing? To invest into them and to give them some funding that they need, which is a huge help. They were able to go out and buy cardiac monitors, you know, to replace them, to be up in the times. I will stand up and fight for that every single day of the week, but we just can't just keep kicking the can down the road. That's what we love to do here at Munhall Borough.
We need to do a lot of things. We need to do a lot of things. The first thing you need to really think about is how to fix the funding for this truck fund. Okay, do you know the status? Does anybody know the status of the truck fund here?
No, well, we don't get reports. And another great point you brought up, the status of the truck fund. We're literally gotta quit buying $1 million engines when we don't have to. We put bells and whistles on things that we don't have to. That's gonna be a problem with the truck fund. When we keep spending. And I know funding is down for the truck fund. And us, council, I believe the resolution is gonna come out for you guys to be able to bill for accidents. And that money, I think we all agreed upon to go into the truck fund to help give you guys some money
correct. I don't know.
In the truck fund.
I'm not quite sure about the bells and whistles thing, but it is what it is. Okay? This, for those that don't know, there is a 25 to 30% return on the truck fund out of all the flyers, which brought in about $32,000 last year. Out of that and expenses, the truck fund was left with about $24,000 to $26,000.
And it's probably gonna get worse.
And it's gonna get worse. The payment on Central, which is the newest one, is 2021, is $53,000 a year. $26,000 53, which is why we asked the borough for the donation. Even with the borough donation, it's not enough to buy 2 vehicles. For example, if we go, and this is a 15-year plan, number one's truck is 30 years old coming next year. Okay? For that truck, right now, non-gingerbread is about 1.2 million at today's cost. If we can buy that truck tomorrow, which we can't, it is a 2 to 3 year build time. Okay? By that time, 203's engine, which is already 24 years old, wouldn't be replaced till around 2040. Okay? Making that truck 38 to 40 years old.
The truck fund's just supposed to buy, take care of the first line vehicles.
That's what we're doing, first line vehicles right now. By the time we get to the tower, it's going to be 45 to 50 years old. That truck there, at today's prices, is 2 to 2.5 million. Which means the brand new engine that's over here, by the time 204 gets their truck, it's already going to be 33 years old. Back in the days when the truck fund was doing well, it never really garnered more than 40–45%, maybe 50 when it first started. But the trucks were 250, 350,000.
Yeah, but now you're spending money out of the truck fund on different stuff, which you ain't supposed to, but you do it anyway.
Who?
We're not spending anything out of the truck fund except for truck payments.
And mailers.
What about the lights and everything else?
That's all included in the truck when you spec the truck. You're talking about the Relief Association.
You're talking about the reimbursement. By the time these trucks are turned in, those lights ain't worth anything anyway. Why? Because they're 30, 40, 50 years old.
Yeah, you ain't gonna get much for them.
No.
So there hasn't been lights taken out of that truck fund in, I don't know,
A long time.
you know, back in the day, yeah, we used to offer, what was it, $5 grand or something for lights? You can't get a light bar for that.
If I'm not mistaken, the Relief Association actually would pay for the lighting upgrades back in the day. And then that stopped probably about 15 years ago. That came to an end because of the actual money that we were getting from the insurance fund coming through. And then the rising cost of everything, we couldn't afford to keep on buying everybody a light bar and doing everything else. So that stopped.
That's where you gotta stop.
So
It did.
for the time being, we're gonna keep on our discussions. We meet once a month. We may take a month off for summer or something like that, okay? But the borough has bigger problems, but the first thing that needs addressed in some kind of funding reality is that. You know, at least to ensure that we're still even gonna be here to merge at that point in time. You know, there's a lot of things going on right now, and what we're doing, you know, I'm sure everybody was ready to bring their points, but with the situation you guys are in right now, we can take a back seat for a few months as far as what we're gonna do with buildings and whatever, and work on other things while we're doing the merge.
I prefer reorganization, by the way.
Consolidation. I should say consolidation. That is a much better term. You're right, Bernie.
Freaks everybody
I
out.
will say this real quick, in terms of funding, grant funding perspective.
Yes.
When you do the actual consolidation, that's when you actually need to start asking for money.
Correct.
Because if you do it and then 6 months later they ask for money, they'll say, oh, it's done. It's fast. You know, you get, as like Dan, our grant consultant said, you gotta strike it down in the spot. So I understand the need for merger, but at that point you also need to figure out what you're gonna do in terms of the building.
Right.
And that's why I said, can we get an agreement? Just saying that if we got the money and the building was gonna be built, you guys would go in it. Because we don't wanna get this money and tear down that building and everything else if you guys ain't gonna go in it. We're not gonna go ask for money if you guys ain't gonna merge into one building.
But we're talking about having an agreement for them to sign, and these 7 council members did discuss that. You came up with that idea and whoever else. And none of us, or I'm just out of the loop because you don't like to tell me anything, which is fine too, but.
I tell you everything.
Well, but I had no idea, You go and say you're gonna have the solicitor draw something
I
up,
was asked to go somewhere, and I told them what I was thinking.
but when you say at a meeting you're gonna have the solicitor draw something up,
I said,
without
we
talking to the
can
rest of the members of
talk-
council.
No, we can, if anybody would say it, I said, we can talk to the solicitor, draw something up, and then they can read it to see if they wanna do it.
Again, but you're talking for all 7 of us.
No, I wasn't. I was talking for the majority.
So you're talking for 4 people
There was 4 or 5 people that brought it to my attention,
of council.
of council, yes.
So 4 members of council brought it to your attention, but the rest of council doesn't get to know about it.
I didn't say 4, I said there was other 4 or 5 people. The only people that didn't come to me was you and Bernie. We knew where you stood, so it didn't matter.
How can I come to you if I have no idea what's going on?
Tim,
That's
you
my
speak
point.
about this every day. You call me about it all the
I call-
time,
Yeah, 'cause
asking
things-
me if I would believe you.
Because you don't believe it, because you
No, I
you
don't,
feel one
because-
fire station at 1900 West Street would serve this whole borough on the volunteer system. It will never work.
You're looking for today, I'm looking for the
Why would it never
future.
work?
On a volunteer system.
I got one question, wait a minute, I got one question.
You wanna,
Excuse me, I got one question. Tim, you know about everything that has to be done in Munhall Fire and what's good for it, but you don't even volunteer in this town.
you want to go, because I don't want to volunteer this time.
Well, you don't come here, but you want to tell us how to run our fire departments.
Well,
You're not a part of the fire
I was elected to
department.
sit right here, so I have a say in that. I hate to tell you that.
Yeah, I understand, but
And next year, get your priorities out there and vote me out.
Move on,
And until,
move on
we need to move on, I mean.
for right now.
Anybody else, anyone out here got anything to discuss on this?
anybody else have anything to say?
Dave Duncan's council, we just.
No, it's not Dave Duncan's
Yeah, we
council.
just stopped, we want to stop. We
Motion to
don't
adjourn.
want to discuss anything.
Second, I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.